All right, we're going to just get started. Roger, he's eating on the job. So for most of you guys might already know, you're at the DNewTech, and as the DNewTech, D stands for Detroit. New means, and then the tech is technology. We actually are a spin-off, and for those who don't know what DNewTech, we're pretty much a meetup, and we're pretty much of a spin-off to Ann Arbor New Tech, which is based out in Ann Arbor. They got probably close to 3,500 to 4,000 members. So they've been going on a lot longer than we have. We started this back in 2010. And the whole purpose of DNewTech is that, well, we got a lot of startup companies that are beginning up here in the Southeast area mission. But everyone believes that their baby is the most beautiful baby. Our goal is to show you that it isn't always that case, because if you present it, you pitch it, everyone's going to find something wrong with it. So that's the great thing about presenting, is that you're actually going to share your ideas. Probably not all in details, just because some of things are private, or some things are just confidential. But the whole idea is to share your ideas. The other reason how we're different from other meetups, as far as you might have been to many meetups, but the way we're different is that we try to go to different locations in Detroit. What that means to you is that, well, there's a lot of, I would say, accelerator or incubators that are here in Michigan, in Southeast area Michigan. And one of the biggest things we want to do is want to bring these meetings, our meetups, to these locations, so that way a lot of entrepreneurs can get an idea where they can actually start their business, or if they're out in the area, they know where to work. We're talking about Wisdom, TechTown, VisionIT is another location. So these are all places that a lot of entrepreneurs aren't aware of. We're just making that more available to our entrepreneurs in the Southwest area of Michigan. And then the biggest thing besides pitching and then going out to different locations is that we also want to make sure that we put you in front of real investors. So today, I'll introduce David very shortly, the CEO and founder of VisionIT. But our goal at DNewTech is, as an entrepreneur for 3 software companies, I can tell you it's very challenging to be in front of an investor. So with the amount of investment that going on in Michigan by itself, I mean, I think we're like up there now, especially in Arbor. I mean, with the number of investments, meeting in the, $500 million now. You can actually see that there's a lot of investment going on, but not everyone can be in front of an investor. Our goal is to put you in front of someone who might want to listen to your pitch. And so today, that's what we're going to be doing. We're supposed to have, I think we're supposed to have 4 presenters, and we end up with the 2. So again, it's the summertime. We're not exactly sure if they're on their way, but we'll let them go. We'll let them present when they get here. Just keep in mind that the way it normally works is that DNewTech will give you, normally have the guest presenter present, and then afterwards we let 4 to 5 entrepreneurs pitch their ideas. We normally give them 5 minutes and no more, but at this time, since we didn't have the other 2 come in, that we're going to give them a little bit longer. I will let them pitch as long as they want. Afterward, we normally have a Q&A session, so that way everyone can drill them on their ideas. This is the best beauty of DNewTech is, you know, again, we want to make sure that you thought your ideas through. So with that, I'm going to introduce you to my friend and the CEO and founder of VisionIT, David Segura. I'll let him introduce himself, but I just want to share with you, you know, as far as I know, his daughter and is that kidpreneur. So we know we're trying to make them making her happy. But Kidpreneur is my company that one of my companies that I founded. But the other part is that we also understand that David started this well, close to 19 years ago with VisionIT, and he's been a big component here in the Detroit area. So it's just my pleasure to introduce you, David.
Excellent.
All right?
Thank you, Tom.
No problem.
Thank you so much. All right. It will switch me back to the
Yep.
PowerPoint. If someone wants to drive the PowerPoint, Chip, thank you.
I can do that.
Oh.
Oh,
Chip's got me covered. Okay, fantastic. Well, welcome everyone to VisionIT. And you see actually a couple other brands, VisionPro and Prime Workforce. So I'll talk a bit about all three. So one, I think, Ton, when you said looking at the baby, well, our baby has grown up over, again, 19 years. We've gone through a lot of evolution and growth as an organization, and there's some wonderful friends and reconnections already that happened today. So it's, again, thankful to do this and host this event. In fact, when I met Ton, my wife was doing some research for my daughter on how to get my daughter into more technology, and I started as a software developer at a very young age in coding, and so she discovered this kidpreneur, and as I looked at the website and we went out and saw what Tom was doing, I was just so amazed at the energy, the excitement around building the business, and I said, one, my daughter's definitely coming, so she's been in a number of summer camps and technology camps, but it's always fun to meet a fellow entrepreneur. So during one of our first meetings, he said, well, I'm part of this DNewTech, and I love to host. And I think this was probably in the springtime, early spring, and he said, let's do it in the summer. So here we are tonight, and a lot happening in Detroit in technology. I was sharing with someone, I was with the new CIO of the city of Detroit this week, getting an update of the transformation, even from a municipality standpoint in Detroit, and to see how much progress is being made in just a short time she's been in the city of Detroit. And I was giving her a lot of background of the history, because our company was started in 1997 in downtown Detroit in the First National Building, and it was a very different day and age in technology in Detroit. It was a time in which there wasn't much investment happening in the city of Detroit, and when people used to ask me, why would you put your company in downtown Detroit? I said, the way we're going to transform people's perception of the city, the way we can transform the economic conditions was the thing that I knew best, which was technology, and how we can apply that, especially because I knew that we could reach, and one of our first marketing materials, I think Duran York is here, and he was one of the first people that worked with me on the marketing materials, and I was going through an old scrapbook, from that time, and the actual marketing said, from downtown Detroit to the world. And who would have known, exactly how that was going to evolve. At that time, I just had a lot of passion and energy for how we could grow a global organization, but didn't know all the steps it was going to take. And I'm thankful to say we've taken many, many steps, and there's a lot of people in the room as well, and leadership here within these organizations that we've had a wonderful journey. So for those pitching today, for those who have an idea for the business and what you want to accomplish, it really is an amazing journey. It's a personal journey. It's a teamwork journey. It's a journey of that requires a lot of energy and effort, but it's wonderfully rewarding. And I think for me, the reward has been the impact you see on others that have been with you through the process, and to see the opportunities that come to an organization that becomes successful through through the growth and through the development of the business. So with that, do we have any slides, or I can? Okay, no problem. So, you know, what I'll do is just give you some highlights, because I wanted to share and showcase you know, the growth of the organization and some of the opportunities that we have as a company. So you saw 3 brands, VisionIT, VisionPro, and Prime Workforce. And VisionIT is the technology portion of our business. It's running IT practices. It's running project-based engagements. We have some specific practices built around technologies people know well, Microsoft. Locally here as well, Cobison. We built a very strategic relationship with Cobison. Cisco in the IT security space. VisionPro is our staff augmentation business, and that's the business in which we're deploying consultants on assignment. And Prime Workforce is our third business, which is managing suppliers who provide contingent labor and statement of work. One of our largest customers, as an example, with Prime Workforce is Pfizer Pharmaceutical. So for Pfizer, globally, we manage their contingent workforce. US, Puerto Rico, we expanded in the European market over this past year. So those are the 3 components of the business. And with that, there's just tremendous opportunities to find in which we're hiring very significant roles within our organization. So all 3 businesses, a lot of times people ask me, which one's more important? I said, no, all 3 are going through growth. All 3 have leadership that are driving growth within the organization. And so there's lots of opportunities across those different businesses. All right, do you have any?
Our adapter's not functioning correctly.
Okay.
Was earlier. Excuse me.
No problem. No problem. All right. So what we'll do, let's make sure the pitches can happen, and we can make sure that they can connect. And you know, Tom, if we want, we can just maybe open up for some questions, because I think that'll create some.
Well, basically, while they're getting the presentation, I mean, anyone have questions for David around the VisionIT, what their goals are? I know that I have a question. I mean, last month we were at TechStars. Everyone who's familiar with TechStars, TechStars is pretty much one of the biggest accelerator program out there in the U.S. And we had TechStar Mobility, and one of the biggest things they're focusing on is a lot of technologies and apps that are around the transportation space. Can you tell me a little bit more about VisionIT and where are you guys going on with that in that type of space?
In the logistics space.
Yes.
So one of the highlights too of our organization, we've been investing in other companies as well. So one of the highlights you talked about as a VC, we invested in Michigan eLab. So many of you probably heard of Michigan eLab in Ann Arbor. I attended the University of Michigan computer science, so it was a combination of using our Michigan connections, and a few of our fellow alum were very successful in Silicon Valley building and investing in early stage technology startups. And so we wanted to pull together our resources and also raise more capital in the Michigan market for looking at companies that could create jobs in Michigan and new opportunities. So one aspect of our investment strategy is with the Michigan eLab, and we've already invested in about 6 companies. I know Cranes has been following closely some of those investments. Another investment that we made outside of that fund is specific to a company in the logistics space called Freight Verify. In Freight Verify, you'll start to hear more momentum. When Tom asked me about this, I said, we've kept this a little bit more under the covers as we've been rolling out. It's based in Ann Arbor. Think of it as an Uber for business to business in getting real-time visibility to freight that's happening across the U.S., across the globe, using our mobile technology and our platform. The platform also runs on Cobison. And you've heard me say Cobison. If you're not familiar with Cobison, it was in the early 2000s, the automotive industry came together to invest in a B2B platform to create an exchange for the automotive industry. But in essence, what they also created was an IoT platform, an Internet of Things platform, based on the ability to securely identify business users, identify the companies, suppliers, create the security platform to have that type of exchange. And so that provides today, in 2015, a lot of opportunities to use that platform for other purposes. And so that's one of the aspects, that's one of the investments that we're working on. VisionIT is doing a lot of the application development within that solution. Oh, please.
What advice do you have for entrepreneurs seeking an investment from a larger company like the one you described, like their internal venture arm? What advice do you have for an entrepreneur?
Well, I think especially when pitching and showcasing, because at this stage I'm also seeing a lot of flow of entrepreneurs. I always highlight right away is you have to show the value. For an investor, right? An investor is looking at how easy of a path is this going to be from an investment standpoint, that this solution is going to take from the sales process, from people quickly seeing what the value is for that business. When I started this organization and these companies, it was all built on services and performing services and faster, more efficient than others. Today with some of our investments in technology, it's identifying and making it very simple for what's the value in what you're presenting. And the Freight Verified case, when we look at the market and a shipper having visibility, so you think of a manufacturing location, getting real-time, full visibility of all of the transactions and coming into a manufacturing center, that provides tremendous value. I think it does, and then we were able to validate it with a pilot with a customer who said, you know what, you saved me. And I think as an entrepreneur, we always find what we think is the value. That's why pilots and initial engagements become so key to real-time then identify, here's why we created this solution, here's what we believe the value. It seemed like I always find that it matures and further develops based on getting it inside of a customer, because customers always have new insights and new ideas and more specifically sometimes industry experience to say, here's how we would use this kind of solution. So, but I always highlight for any entrepreneur, whether it's in the tech space or across the board, it's all about having something of significant value that someone is willing to pay for that type of solution. Oh, good. Okay, we're back up now. All right. So I described the businesses. I'll move quickly through this. You can go to the next one. And again, I'll highlight this from a customer standpoint. We have north of 75 of the Fortune 500. So one of the that's a good example of even that question of when you're pitching as well to do business with a Walmart, with a Coca-Cola. Right, they have so many vendors, and when I think about like our Atlanta market, everyone's dream is to be a supplier, typically, to Coca-Cola. So how do you stand out from the rest, and how do you differentiate yourself? And so, a combination of things for us in our business model, it's the global aspect of our business. It's the size and scope. We've generated over $1 billion in revenue over the last 5 years combined. So we've done things of scale that those organizations look for. Quality management processes are in place. So we became ISO certified. So very key for us in the services business to show that we know how to handle the level of activity that someone like a Walmart can provide. And I mentioned our US-wide footprint. So we have 20 locations in the U.S., so a very big footprint. Of course, Detroit is home. Detroit is, again, our global headquarters, but lots of other markets we built out. And so that's another aspect as an entrepreneur of being on that journey of taking your solutions into other markets and seeing how they're received. And when I see this map, I think about all the industries, right? New York in the financial services space, and looking at banking, finance, insurance, utilities. We work with utilities all across the U.S. And then, the first, I'd say 10 years of the organization, 10 to 12, was heavily in building out the US operation. And if you go to the next slide, from a global standpoint, we then invested in Mexico, we invested in the Philippines, so we're doing software development in the Philippines, we're doing in-country and across Latin America, leveraging a facility we built in Mexico, in Puebla, Mexico. We're supporting as well in Brazil with our Cisco practice, in Canada as well. So all these things, the business and the opportunities with our customers grew from a US footprint and then expanded out globally. Okay, a few of the, thank you, this makes it easier. The view of the investment. So I mentioned Freight Verify, so that's one investment we made based in Ann Arbor. I talked about Covisint. What we've done with Covisint is we're a go-to-market partner with Covisint. We're solutioning on their platform, and we're their implementation partner. So we're a systems integrator with Covisint. You'll hear more also, we're working closely with Henry Ford Innovation Center on mobile technology as well. So they have a wonderful center. This year they're celebrating their 100th year anniversary in the healthcare industry. In fact, a lot of breakthroughs that happen in the healthcare industry came from Henry Ford Health Systems because they applied engineers, automotive engineers, that Henry Ford loaned to Henry Ford many years ago that created many breakthroughs. So that was the whole point of creating this innovation center on what's next in the healthcare space. And some of this is across the board. You're seeing, if you visit, it's part of the Henry Ford Hospital. It's just down the street from this location. So it's definitely worth seeing and what's being built there. Mobile Force was an investment in Silicon Valley. It was actually our first investment in Michigan eLab. Is a mobile platform that connects enterprise systems such as SharePoint, Salesforce CRM, and unifies them and does it without very little programming. So that was kind of the jump we wanted to make in the mobile space. One of the solutions was fast, simple, ready-to-go mobile applications with very little programming involved. Duran remembers back our early days in the web space that was built on a product that we built, our very first product, is how the company really was founded on a configuration portal for launching websites and launching interactive websites. So a couple more quick slides and I definitely want to hear the pitches from the team. So I mentioned we have lots of opportunities within the organization. So hopefully you got today that there's 3 business entities within the organization. VisionIT is where our project-based practices sit. So we have these types of opportunities today. And on the VisionPro side, VisionPro today is the 29th largest IT staffing company in the US. So we play a very, very big role. And the other reason it's called VisionPro because we do some non-IT work as well. So lots of opportunities. There's actually over 600 openings across the US. And just in Michigan alone, we have over 300 openings today. So lots of opportunities. VisionProTeam.com is where you can find and search and find those openings. And then info@visionit.com. To make it simple, info@visionit.com. You can send your resume to that location and we will respond. And I can tell you there's the team, Don Thomas, Kim West is here. The team is an amazing recruiting operation. And in fact, I always get feedback too. Like, someone says, I sent it and I got a call like within an hour. We can't always do an hour, but we had one of our candidates said, I couldn't believe I applied to a lot of companies and I don't get this responsiveness. So, we're very, very aggressively searching for great people to join our organization and join us on this journey. So with that, Tom, I'll turn it back to you and the team.
How about questions? Does anyone have questions for David?
Oh, please.
Yeah. Do you hire international students and go through the process of getting them their sometimes difficult visas to really put a U.S. employer?
Yeah, so we definitely have an H-1 visa process, and so we've done that, of course, in India, actually in Mexico as well. We brought some of IT, so it's been heavily on more seasoned IT professionals. We actually had a customer who we recruited, leveraging our recruiting operations in Mexico to deploy them in Nevada, because they were having, Las Vegas in that example was having challenges finding IT people with specific skill sets. MGM is a customer as an example. So yeah, we definitely have a process for that. And our internship model and working with students, we've always had, community has been a focal point of the foundation of how the company started. So that's another reason why, again, we love being a part of these types of programs. There's a number of initiatives we're working on here in Detroit, centered around developing IT skill sets. So we're doing everything from working with young people. That's why Ton and I connected right away, because he saw some of the community programs we were working on of getting young people into the development space. He's doing it at a whole different level now that we're very supportive of. And but also working with our local universities, again, developing talent right here in Detroit.
One of the things I want to find, I like what you stated when you started the company, I think from one time before you bootstrapped it, a lot of this time, and a lot as an entrepreneur back in about 5 years ago when we started, or 6 years ago when I started at that time, a lot of people who were starting out their first app or first company, they were pretty much put in a position because they kind of need entrepreneurs, not because they wanted to be.
Right.
But the whole idea was that they didn't know, they were getting the funding first. I mean, what can you share about bootstrapping? It's just as important as a valid way of getting the first customer and making sure that you can validate that model.
Right. Right. So and that's as you asked that question, I'm thinking, we didn't have the financial backing for the first 3 years. So it makes you be very creative, inventive, leveraging everything you have, time, your capabilities. I was sharing with someone that, our very first office was in the First National Building, in which we traded services for space. And we worked out a nice structure. I remember giving the proposal to the organization, and when they opened the last page with the price tag, they almost fell out of their seat. They said, "There's no way we can afford this." And I said, "Okay, I think I have a way." And I remember Duran was there at the table with me, because we worked on a whiteboard thinking, how could we structure this so that it provides us what we needed, which at that point was a corporate facility to really bring customers in, but also provide this organization, what they needed. And we actually structured something over a 3-year period. So there were a lot of bootstrapping strategies we had to leverage. Again, at that point, there was a huge need for people with websites. So there was always trade-offs we would come up with in coming up with solutions. It would build momentum, it would build our brand in the market, and eventually we got to a point where we had enough projects. We won a number of large engagements. The city of Detroit is a classic one where we bid against some other publicly traded IT companies, and we ended up getting outsourced all the web development for the city of Detroit back in 2000. And that was another one of those key wins. When I remember presenting in front of the city of Detroit audience, and they said, how many people are in this company? And I said, well, there's really 5 people total. I said, and most of them are in the room. But they saw the passion, they saw the capability, and we went all out for the city, and we did some pretty innovative work for them. And that led to an investor, an angel investor at that point, who invested in the company and put $1 million into the company to help us scale. And the way we structured it, we ended up hitting all our growth targets for that year and only required $750,000. So we didn't have to give up all the equity we originally had structured in that model. It was within 3 years after that, 3 to 4 years after that, we bought back our ownership. So that was a pivotal moment, because I will always tell you that you need fuel. You may have a rocket ship you want to build, and the rocket ship needs fuel. So you can be inventive, you can do different things to get the rocket ship built, but at some point you're going to have the fuel to take the business and scale it. And we've gone through those cycles. Excellent.
Any other questions?
Okay. Let's hear some pitches.
Awesome.
Thanks, Dave. Let's
Okay.
give it a hand to David. So, hey, Bears, you want to get started? No. We have, first up is there's Ksebati, and I'm going to take this now from you. Can you put your computer on that? Yes, I can. I don't know if you can actually do that because it's actually at an angle.
If you move the book, you can probably set it there.
You said in, you want to try it?
Yeah. That way I can just hit the next slide.
I won't do any intro because I let Ferris do by his own. But did you know, are you
Brandon?
branded for Wisdom?
Yep.
Yeah, basically Wisdom is one of the incubator here in this in the city of Detroit that's run by Dan Gilbert. Dan Gilbert has Detroit Venture Partners, Rock Ventures, and then Wisdom. Wisdom is pretty much the introductory investment, and so overall, Ferris came highly recommended. So we'll let him shoot.
The feeling of weightlessness one experiences while in the water is something we often take for granted, but it's one of the many joys the sport of swimming has to offer humanity. My name is Ksebati, co-founder of MySwimPro, a mobile application that delivers individualized swim training and tracking for master swimmers and triathletes who are focused on improving their performance and health. As a swimmer, it can be extremely challenging to access structured training and coaching. Today, swimmers spend countless hours per week in the pool, and some spend hundreds of dollars per month on in-person or remote coaching and training plans. Unfortunately, many do not have this access, and as a result, swimmers are left feeling discouraged. Some so much so they don't even participate in the sport that they love. The current fitness platforms like Strava, MapMyFitness, and Runkeeper are simply not designed to meet the needs of swimmers, and that's why we created MySwimPro. Swimming is one of the most popular sports in the world, and in the United States alone, there are over 50 million active fitness swimmers. Triathlon participation has seen double-digit annual growth for the last decade, but our initial target market are the 5 million master swimmers and triathletes who swim regularly as a way of life. With our deep swimming and coaching backgrounds, we've been able to speak with hundreds of master swimmers and triathletes who have reinforced the pain points that we are addressing. We've taken these learnings to create the ultimate swimming experience. So what is the ultimate swimming experience? It starts with understanding why someone swims, what their goals are, and delivering a custom training plan that's specific to them so they can not only track their progress, but see their improvement. Swimming is unlike any other sport and requires a unique experience that empowers athletes to not only track their workouts, but to create, share, and receive content that's created specifically for them. The virtual swim coach algorithm we're designing creates this one-of-a-kind experience. And for a monthly subscription, athletes can get a plan dynamically generated for them and allow them to swim faster and smarter than ever before. So what have we learned in the last few months? We've been able to speak with a number of athletes and really fine-tune exactly who our market segment is. We know now that we're building for mid to late career professionals. They're typically type A personalities. They achieve excellence in anything they set their mind to. They typically earn six-figure salaries, and they spend thousands of dollars per year to maintain an active lifestyle. Their needs are as complex and diverse as the goals they've set for themselves, and it's our pleasure to be building for them. So what are we doing from here? In the next few weeks, we plan to iterate like we've done on our Android and iOS MVPs based on the feedback we're getting from our athletes. We've had over 4,000 swimmers engage with our platform so far, and over 15,000 followers on Twitter who have given us tremendously valuable feedback so we can push our platform forward. In the next 6 months, we plan to raise a seed round of capital so we can take our rockstar team full-time, polish up our premium plan, and start to drive serious revenue. And we'll be launching our platform early next year. So swimming is more than just a life skill. It's one of the best forms of physical activity that empowers people to live healthy and fulfilling lives. I'd love to speak with you after the presentation how our team is empowering aquatic prowess across the globe. Thank you. Q&A. Any questions?
Usually
Yeah.
we usually give 5 minutes, but you, man, you're out of that.
Pushing it. Yeah.
Oh, yes. How did you find your initial, users or swimmers or your market?
Yeah, so our entire team has a really strong network in the community. So I've been a coach for the last 5 years. I swam collegiately. 2 of our members actually swam collegiately as well. So we have a really strong network initially that we've been using to kind of test out what we have right now, which is our MVP. We also have a really strong social media following, which is really awesome because we haven't paid anything for our 15,000 followers. So a lot of our engagement has come from just being authentic within the community, attending events, and our personal networks. Yeah.
And your presentation was well organized.
Thank you.
I'm a swimmer. But
Awesome.
I learned at very old age.
Okay.
So are you just, my question is, are you trying just to provide guidance on the training, or are you also teaching technique?
Mhm. A little bit of both. So
Okay.
our initial segment of athletes are really performance driven. And so they already have solid technique, but they're always looking for ways to improve. The biggest value proposition we give is delivering a custom training plan specific to the athlete for whatever goal it is. So let's say they're doing a competition in 12 weeks, and they can swim 3 times a week, and this is how fast they are. So we take those inputs and deliver a custom training plan. Let's say someone's goal is to lose 20 pounds. So it's a little bit different, and they're more of a fitness swimmer. So they're not really looking for performance. They just want to make themselves efficient and maximize their time in the water. So it's a little bit of both, but really more on the performance end to start. Yeah.
How are you collecting the data that you use to tailor a fitness plan for a user?
Yeah. Right now it's all user generated, so the athlete tells us how fast they are, like what ability level they are. But the wearable market is growing fast, and we want to be there when we can start to use that data to fine-tune the plan automatically. Right now, there's some wearables out there that are specifically for triathlon. Like the Garmin has a pretty strong stranglehold on all that stuff. We have an Apple Watch prototype that was one of the slides that was shown earlier. And really, that market is exciting, and we want to be there when swimming is ready for it. Yeah.
You said your target market is 6-figure salaried individuals.
Yep.
And so if they have 6-figure salary, why wouldn't they hire the personal code, or they might even have one? So why would they have this app and not the personal code themselves?
Exactly. So a lot of people can afford it, and that's great, but most people don't even have access to get that kind of coach. So like I coach at the Detroit Athletic Club 3 times a week, a master's group, and it's $400 a month if you're above the age of 32. So those people are Metro Detroit local. If you want to find another master's program that's comparable to what we're doing at the DAC, you're going to have to go out to Novi or Birmingham, and that's about it. So in like the Metro Detroit area, there's only a few programs, and it doesn't really fit with everyone's schedule. So I coach at 6 a.m. in the morning. Some people don't like that. I don't blame them. It's hard. So some people want to swim at lunch, at night, and so our program doesn't even fit with what they want, and so this gives them the ability to take their training when they can do it where they want. Yep.
How many data points are you collecting? Like in the wearables market right now, besides speed, how many other data points are you collecting?
Right now it's really basic. Right now the athlete comes into our MVP and they tell us what their ability level is, and then they're given a workout library so they can skim through a workout that fits them. So it's a little bit user determined, they can pick what they want, and then they can fully customize that workout so it matches what they need to do. What we're building for our premium plan will be about 4 data points, so how often they can swim, how fast they are, what their specific goal is. Yeah, so we want to build that out. Right now it's just how fast are you, customize it yourself right now.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I noticed on the last slide you had some advisors. Do you have an advisory board? And if so, how do you leverage them, or how did you find them?
Yeah. So our team, we're a team of 4. Myself, my 2 co-founders, one of them leading iOS, one leading Android. Peter Vanderkay is one of our advisors. He was a 3-time Olympian in swimming. He swam at the University of Michigan, 4-time gold medalist. He serves as an athlete advisory council to the U.S. Olympic Committee. And so I kind of known him for a few years, and I sit on the board of a different organization with him. And he was actually Adam's landlord when he was at Michigan, who also swam in Michigan. So that's how we know Peter. And he's been tremendously valuable, giving us introductions. We had a video that he was in, demoing some technique and using the product. Todd Sullivan is a 5-time tech entrepreneur, and I worked with him at his last startup, which he just sold. So it made sense to bring him on to give us strategic advice when it comes to growth, fundraising, any other stuff a tech startup has to do.
What about Lenny Felix at JCCs? I know he's got the handhold of the JCC area. Do you know Lenny?
I don't know him personally, but maybe I should reach out there, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's our team of advisors right now. We are looking for someone strategically in the IT space, specifically who has scaled a health and fitness app before, because that's the market we're in. So, some of the big players that are in that space are MyFitnessPal, MyFitness, the ones I described, Strava. FitStar is a company that is based out of San Francisco, and they do personal fitness for like your body weight exercises. So like think of an at-home gym. And they were just acquired by Fitbit a few months ago. And so we're speaking with someone there, and we're just trying to model a lot of our business aspects to them. So they had a $9 a month plan. They had a freemium model like we do, and just kind of looking at what the market is doing, because we don't need to reinvent the wheel when it comes to some of this stuff. There have been a lot of successful exits, so may as well look at what they're doing right and learn from their mistakes.
How many free members do you have right now in your free model? And,
So we've had 4,000 athletes engage with the platform, but our monthly active is 2,100.
and
So-
are any of them on any subscription? Yeah?
So we haven't even released subscription yet. We're right now on the free plan, and that's what we're building out, the premium plan, so that way someone can have a virtual coach dynamically generating the plan for them.
Invest something.
Yeah.
What are you going to use for the investment for the first round? What would you use that investment for?
So right now I'm the only team member that's full-time. Our iOS and Android guy are part-time, so the seed round of capital would take our whole team full-time and give us a little bit of marketing play so we can validate what it costs to acquire an athlete and make them stick around. So that way we can take all that information, go for a Series A round, and really scale the effort based on the data that we know.
I can imagine for an exercise application, if we're running or biking or walking, strapped in on your arm,
Yeah.
GPS to know where you are, how fast you're going, your location. Is this an app that you're swimming and you're underwater, and you leave it on the deck, or you strap it to your arm while you're in the water?
Yeah, so you don't even need your phone with you. The real value we provide is the workout content, and that happens before the pool. So the biggest problem for swimmers is, you go to the pool and then you swim back and forth for 60 minutes. And that's not the best way to use your time. So we give you a structured workout plan that is within the app, which you can export to PDF and print if you want, memorize it, or write it down. That's one of the reasons why we went with the Apple Watch proof of concept, to show we can take a workout, send it to a wearable, and then it can kind of coach you through the workout while you're in the pool. Right now, it sounds kind of crazy, like why would you print something out? And that is crazy. It's not great, but in fact, that's actually how most swimming is done today. So, like one of our team members is a current swimmer at Michigan, and they print out 40 sheets of paper with everyone's workout every single day, and then they just dispose of it. So, kills a lot of trees. It's not very efficient. You think we're in 2015. Come on, really printing things out? And that's true. It isn't the best way to do it, and that's the reason why we decided to do a wearable proof of concept.
I probably wouldn't describe it as crazy. I mean, people kind of intuitively know you could have yourself, your smartphone underwater. So that's,
Yeah.
That's a reasonable compromise.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
one other question. The data that's input after they're done with the workout,
Mhm.
track it. How long is that stored? Is there a length, timeline limit for a workout, like 12 months?
Okay. Yeah, so everything it's all in the cloud. When an athlete hits log swim that they did the workout, for now, the data's not going anywhere. It's stored to their profile, and we don't have any plans to delete it because it doesn't take up really any space. So may as well have all of those metrics associated with their profile, and then what we're working towards is really the data behind it, so they can really see their improvements, so they can see what their base 100 time is. They can see if they are wearing like a Garmin watch, it does your stroke count. They can see they're getting more efficient. So having that data over time is really valuable. That's what the other health and fitness apps, that's why they're valuable, because they have all these people's health data. And so, like MyFitnessPal, for example, they don't have any revenue, and they're sold to Under Armour for $475 million, purely on engagement by the people that are using it. So our plan's a little different, but again, it's like the data is so important, let's keep it. Yeah.
You mentioned some wearable tech that works underwater, the Garmin stuff. And
Yeah.
That works for triathlons.
Mhm.
Have you guys brought any of that into the actual application? Sort of how Fitbit or MyFitness or Run People, things like that, pull data into their apps?
So we don't have that right now. Garmin is the first wearable we'll do. They have a $5,000 one-time API fee, which we don't have $5,000 to spend on that. So our focus is, what we're doing right now with the plan, but definitely Garmin will most likely be our first wearable that we integrate with. And I think we'll make a credible case. They only grant their API to people who they think are legitimate to not devalue their brand. So I think we can make a good case for the value proposition we give to athletes, specifically on the swimming side, which is kind of a big hole for the other fitness platforms. So Garmin will be most likely our first wearable. If it's not Apple Watch 2, depending on what that looks like.
Any other questions? Thanks, Ferris.
Thank you. Thank you.
Felix, Felix, here you go. Yep. So normally what usually happens is that they do have the presenters, they give 5 minutes to present and 5 minutes for questions, but kind of went a little bit more than this time. So just to let you guys know, after this month, I can't remember what month we're in. August, September. We meet the first Wednesday every month, but the September 4th, we're going to be at Wisdom. And again, it's one of Dave Gilbert's, I would call it little baby incubator. And so one of the things that we want to do is kind of host us. We're going to be there September 2nd at 6 p.m. So that's just a plug-in for the next DNewTech. No problem.
Any other announcements of events coming up that we can fill here? Stand over there. So be on camera somewhere in the middle.
So in the beginning of September, I think the 9th, 10th, and 11th, maybe 10th, 11th, 12th, there's a series of demo days. One of them by I think it's called the Desai Accelerator, Cool House Labs, and Techstars. So at the beginning of September, one of them's at the Fox Theater. There'll probably be 500 plus people. And then the other two accelerate a cohort of 10 startups. They've all raised money, and they'll be pitching. That's going on.
And of course, DNewTech is the third Tuesday of the month, and they're going to be 10 presenters at that one. It's what is it? Just in July. Startups are going to present.
The other one, TEDx Detroit. Did you just say that?
And I said DNewTech.
Okay,
and
TEDx
Techstars.
Detroit is pretty big. It's going to be at the is it the Fillmore?
I'm not sure where it is, but
I
it's
think
what,
it's
in
the Fillmore
October
Music
or September?
in downtown Detroit in October. It's always a one whole day event. They take only like the first 100 and they take the first 150.
Felix, back up toward the light a little bit.
Here, okay. Hi, sorry about that. My name is Felix Gastelum, and the company I presented today is called Sahuaro Labs. We are a mobile app developer, which we are focusing on proximity sensors known as beacons. These are these kind of devices. So what are beacons if you don't know? Beacons is a Bluetooth sensor, and each beacon usually has 3 geofences. So you can see here in 1 feet. The near geofence is between, and you can do with, you can trigger any action of a mobile phone. Okay, so and what are beacons good? Okay, versus the GPS, or you don't know if we are in 6th floor on the close location or okay. And what usually what we do is a beacon tells you now do for it. So let me try to show you examples of what a beacon can do. Okay, it's going to happen. We have a beacon at the entrance, and we have additional beacons. One next to a car. So sorry, it's kind of far, but put this phone on a. So I don't know if you can see it, but let's pretend I'm entering the. So searching for beacons. The first beacon on the entrance is down there. I will go enter. I can give you a personalized message. I go to the door. For example, I can trigger a survey saying what kind of car you're looking for, what type of vehicle, if it's a regular cab or a crew cab, what kind of tow do you need. You answer the questions, you send it, and you store it for that. Okay? You continue walking to the first car. I can give you a description of the car, general description, technical description, pricing. I like this feature. For example, if you're browsing for a car and you want assistance, you just click the button, the beacon recognizes you are here now, somebody from sales can call you. They don't need to bother you. So that's kind of an example what we can use for it. You approach the next car. I can show you a video. I move. So basically, those are the kind of examples we can do with beacons. This is just to get a general idea what we can do with them. Okay. So just to give you more context, what we did is the first beacon that was over there. I used the 3 geofences. So the first one, which let me start from the front. The near one gave you the welcome. The middle one gave you the survey, and the far one gave you a promo. I didn't show you because it was so close space. Why did the middle give you the specs and the assistance? And this one gave you the video. So you can see in a GPS, we will not be able to work this, okay? So basically, that's the idea what beacons are good for, okay? So what we are trying to do here is, our value proposition as a company is, okay, we are trying to build a platform that is customizable to any industry or company needs. So you're providing a service, or if you want to improve a process. Basically, those are the 2 areas that we would like to attack. Okay. Now, easily collect data. As I was walking, collecting data, I will go to that, but this is a very easy way, it's not even possible. Okay? And then what we are trying to do is any user can access or do actions with our platform and activate and deactivate because without the need any code. Because right now, what usually any app that has beacons integration with it, you need to go to the source code to trigger or to change anything into it. So we are trying to avoid that. So basically, those are the problems we are trying to solve. Okay, so let me give you. Okay. So basically, in our platform that we are building, we have 3 main areas, which is the dashboards. what I was going to give you in more detail is we are collecting 3 sets of variables while I was working here. The first one is every time I go into or out of a geofence, I am collecting that. I'm collecting the time that it was action was triggered or not. So those are the 3 main variables that we are collecting. So we can shape it, format, or present it in any way we want. So basically, just as a part for demo, here I'm triggering every time I go out of a geofence, every time I visit the app. And several beacons, I can collect in and outs, times, so on. So we can shape the dashboard the way we want, depending on the industry need or the company need. Okay? In the future, we're planning to build more features. So this is just to give you an idea what we can do with data collection. The second feature that we are trying to build is we are trying to, if it's a multi-site company or a multi-site process, we can, for example, let's say VisionIT. For example, I have this many beacons. These are active and these are inactive. From that beacons manufacturers, we can put any brand here, so we don't care what brand of beacons we are using. Okay? Show you. So, for example, you have the 3 geofences here. So, for example, with a click on a button, I can activate or deactivate a beacon. Okay? And for example, let's pretend that beacon over there, that's the one I want to trigger. So for example, we can put an image, we can send a notification, we can send a video, so on. Any action that we want to program, we can build it here without of any code. So for example, I'm going to pretend I'm going to put an image there. Let's say the welcome. And then on the way in, I want to put the welcome, and on the way out, I'm going to set a prompt, just to give you an example. Okay? So I launch the app. Here is the welcome. I get out. Sorry. Always misses on the here's the problem, sorry. Okay, so you can see I went in and out, and I could trigger different actions. So that's the foundation or the building blocks that we are trying to create here. Okay? Now, the last part, or what, this is the question I always get asked, is what usage? Okay, I gave you the variables that we are playing with. Okay, what kind of usage you can use, or what kind of needs do I cover? Let me try to give you 3 examples. For example, I love to go to Home Depot, okay? But for example, on a Saturday, if I go and ask somebody of plumbing, I have a question of a tube or something. To find the person that will help me with my question, sometimes it's very hard. I go to one person and they tell me, no, Bob, this is the plumbing, you need to go and find it. Why don't the feature I told you, just, I'm here in the plumbing area, just click a button, will trigger an action, and somebody knows that somebody in plumbing needs help. Okay, that's one kind of problem solving that we are trying to do. Okay, sorry about that. What I show you is basically, I gave you a notice, I gave you a focus more, what I call pull, what I just told you. When I need the service or when I need the help, I just call it and triggers the action. Okay. The other area or the other problem that we like to solve is what I call seamless. For example, I like to go to Starbucks. Okay, I have the Starbucks app. Right now when I go to the store, counter guy, say I need this coffee and so. The only thing that this app right now helps me is I scan it and it charges for me. I pay with my credit card app, okay? Back up and imagine the menus here, okay? Why don't, when I pull into the coffee, walk into the store, click on at the entrance of the store, they text me I'm here, I go and see it, they start processing on the back the coffee. They know I'm here. Why? So that's what I call seamless. That's what I process that we are trying to improve. Okay. Then is improve. For example, and I'll give you an example that I had that I think we can help. In a building, it's very simple. It's a 10-story building, and I was the janitorial services. And I don't know if you have noticed, but when you go into a public restroom, usually in the back of the main door there is a sheet saying, John made a service at 10:10. John made a service at 12 p.m. So you know everything is on paper. He was complaining, said, it's impossible. Customers are complaining. Sometimes the restroom was telling us, these devices are, this is a big $5. So the cost, and it's dropping every day. So it's so cheap to track any data or any point. So for example, to see where the restroom has been cleaned, or the person who is in charge there has a mobile phone, is you place a beacon into the restroom. So at least you know if the person went into the restroom and how much time they spent there. So at least you know that somebody from janitorial services was there, okay? And then you can customize the dashboard and see of this building, this was the last time that it was cleaned. Then, other way that we could do it, I told him, is, for example, as I told you, these are becoming so cheap. You can stick one into the cleaning cart that they use and they carry around. And now there's a new technology. There is of beacons. There is called master beacon or a cloud beacon. That beacon that is, you put a beacon on the car, and then you put a beacon on in a central area. You can track device to device. Okay? So that's it.
Any questions for Felix? Go ahead.
How do you secure it? I mean, this idea is genius. I'll give that to you. I'm a computer hacker. That's what I do. So as I was looking at this and thinking about it, I have several people as well. How do you secure that?
That's a really good question. Action. You know.
Okay, so there'll be some sort of access code or password or something.
To what? Excuse me. To this? Or like an beacon has a you can try to secure ID, and then depends if you get that UUID, that's how you trigger the actions.
Did he answer your question?
I'd like to talk.
Okay, that's fine.
Massive applications in the manufacturing or something like this, especially tied to not to a cell phone, but some other device which is transmitting.
Correct, correct. And I think that's the idea. The idea, this is the first step in the idea. And it's like a building a highway, you know, everybody say, oh, this will be connected and this will be roads. Just somebody needs to maintain it, to paint it, to put signs on it. So basically just basic idea what we are trying to do.
You can connect to the onboard computer, and it's a huge problem down the software side.
Okay.
There are massive databases which are stored.
Okay.
To get to understand where it goes.
Maybe you can talk because we are looking for pilot.
When you said no coding, do you mean that sitting on your car seat, on your passenger seat, you drive other shows? But your phone is, let me see it in the, is that what you're talking
Yes,
about?
no, what I mean is no coding is on the managing of the beacon area. On the app is any regular app. Sorry, I might misguide you. What I'm saying is on the coding, usually when you need to activate or deactivate a beacon or an action, for example, just to send an email, you need to build that code into, I don't know if so for example, let's say you have an app of a store.
Well, I was thinking about the guy who just goes into an auto dealership on a Sunday.
Okay.
Nobody's there, but the beacons are alive. But the phone's on his, all of a sudden something pops up on his phone. In other words, if you get
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
We
Sort
can
of
build
set
a
up
feature
the-
here
sort-
saying
sort
timer there saying from office hours only be active, out of office hours be deactive.
Okay. So, one of the things I got from this is that, like, you gave a couple of examples, Home Depot and the GMC and so on. So, that means I need to download each and every app. So I have to download GMC app, I have to download Home Depot app,
Yes.
and I have to download whichever other store has beacons if I need to. So basically, I think the problem I see, I mean, the idea is great. The problem I see that I need to download all these apps on my phone for me to be able to see the information correctly. And so how do you correct that problem, or how do you see that?
Understood. There is a, there is a second generation, actually Google just launched a new standard called Eddystone, okay? There is a new beacon that they are testing right now. Right now works with Bluetooth developer from the Home Depot that will need to talk to the developer of the Kroger app. That's
Standardization.
exactly standard. And that's what I think Google is trying to do. Rather to jump ahead out of the apps with the URL, you just need a browser. You don't need to download anything, so you can use it at your convenience.
Does the beacons talk to many phones or one phone?
Too many phones.
I mean, at the same time.
At the same, yeah.
So it can talk.
So
to
basically,
five phones.
yeah, you're receiving the Bluetooth signal. Let's say there are 24 active. This 24 phone will receive at the same time.
One more question on the same line that, so you mentioned Google is coming up with this new technology, but and also I have heard that there are projects out there, it's going to come up very soon, that doesn't even require beacon anymore. Because beacon is one of the problems is whichever store, you need to actually put the beacons at specific places to kind of, make sure they are your length or height or which floor you are in and all these questions. So there's still a problem with the beacons. So they're coming up with this new technology where you don't even require beacon, which tells you exactly where you are in the floor. So what do you, I mean,
yes.
Do you know about that technology?
Yeah, I know a little bit.
What
Actually,
happens if that
we have a relationship with another Michigan company called Tangerine Mobile, and there is a new standard called ultra wideband UWP. So it's so exact that you don't need beacons.
That's right.
I agree, but it's a developing standards. I think the advantage of this, maybe that technology, I would say, won't overtake this, okay? But the advantage of this right now is so cheap and it's so easy to collect data that it's here now and we can use it. The other is just in a testing prototype, so I don't know how long it will take to develop.
And also you mentioned that does it work with any beacons, or we need to?
No, we work. This is a gimbal beacon from Qualcomm. This is a Contactio from. So it's
Any
multi-brand.
beacon.
Yeah. We can work with any beacons.
One of the things you might have tried, I don't know if you tried already, have you even gone out to see maybe a Kroger or a dealership?
This is the second time we are going out. Since we are bootstrapping, we sell projects to founder projects.
It's great technology. I agree. I think the encryption problem, I think you got to work.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
But I think that getting out there, offering it to like a dealership. People are buying.
I totally. The only problem, the only drawback that I work a full time, so this is my 6 to midnight or whatever time I. So.
Any more questions?
Yes, and I think those companies are capable to developing that. I think our sweet spot will be medium, small companies that don't have the capability for their own IT department. So we can either build their app from scratch and they can manage it here, or we can give you the SDK on their current app and manage it. So.
So beacons, if I get from any company, don't they come with their own SDK?
Yes, but it's more generic. What we are trying to do is more specific, tailored to any specific need. They give you like a toolbox, and then you can start to build right now. So what we are trying to do is more customized based on your specific needs and your specific metrics. Because most of that, they admin the beacon, but they don't give you metrics. They just say, okay, you can activate, you can deactivate, you can manage, but they don't give you specific metrics.
They're trying to simplify.
Exactly. Exactly.
You guys just gotta check your purses or your wallet and stuff. The beacon's not in New York. Again, we're supposed to usually have 4 to 5 presenter, and apparently we only got 2. But overall, I mean, I think these technologies that these guys are presenting is pretty much top-notch. Again, the next meetup is going to be on September 2nd. It's going to be at Wisdom, downtown Detroit. We got 5 startups there as well, and I think the guest speaker there might be one of the VCs at Wisdom. So with that, if we normally have the networking sections right now, and then in addition, help yourself with pizza and food, because I think that's for you. I want to say thanks again to David for hosting this, and VisionIT. And then, yeah, just stick around, and that's about it. Thanks. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Can you determine like direction?
It's a radius, so
Oh, okay.
you
Like
know,
north-south.
but you know what? You can put a line of people that say